Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a piece of English grammar that, once you get it, will make your speaking and writing sound way more natural. We're talking about relative clauses. And I know, that sounds super technical, but I promise you, it's actually much simpler than it seems.
So let's just jump right in with a little puzzle. You're about to see three sentences. They look almost the same, but are they all correct? Is just one of them right? Or is there a trick? Let's figure it out together.
Okay, here we go. We've got the book which I read was amazing. Then the book that I read was amazing. And finally, the book I read was amazing. Keep these in the back of your mind, because I promise by the end of this short explainer, you'll know the answer with 100% confidence.
Right, so in order to solve our little puzzle, we've got to cover a couple of basic ideas first. First things first, what in the world are we even talking about? Let's break down what these things are and why they're so useful for making our sentences just flow better. So, a relative clause is just a part of a sentence that tells you more about a person or a thing. But here's the key. The real reason we use them. Their main job is to stop you from repeating yourself and sounding, well, kind of like a robot. It's all about efficiency. Take a look at this. On the left, the girl found my lost wallet. She returned it to me. It works, but it's a little clunky, right? Two separate ideas. Now look at the right. The girl who found my lost wallet returned it to me. See how much smoother that is? That highlighted part, who found my lost wallet, that's our relative clause. It just stitches the two ideas together perfectly. Okay, pay attention, because this next idea is honestly the single most important rule we are going to talk about today. This is the secret key that unlocks the entire concept. Check out this sentence. If I just said, "The woman is my sister," you'd immediately ask, which woman, right? The information, who works in the bakery, is essential. You absolutely need it to understand which woman I'm talking about. It defines her for us. But now look at the difference here. The sentence starts with my sister. You already know exactly who I'm talking about, right? The fact that she works in the bakery is just a neat little piece of bonus information. The main point of the sentence is that she's kind. The other part is just extra. So now we can put the official labels on these ideas. A clause with essential info is called a defining clause. And notice, no commas. A clause with extra info is called a non-defining clause, and it's always hugged by commas. Honestly, those commas are a huge giveaway that the info isn't strictly necessary. Okay, so now that we know about the two main types of clauses, let's look at our toolkit, the specific little words we use to build them. These are the relative pronouns.
This chart makes it super simple. We use who for people, the person who called me. We use which for things and animals, the phone which is on the table. Whose is all about possession, the author whose book I love. And where and when are pretty straightforward. They're for places and times. Easy enough.
And then there's that. Now that is like a multi-tool. It's super useful because it can replace who and which when we're talking about people, things, and animals. But, and this is a big one, it comes with one major unbreakable rule. You can only use that for essential, defining information. That means you will never see the word that used as a relative pronoun after a comma. Ever. All right, you ready for the pro move? This is the trick that will really level up your English and make you sound so much more fluent. It's knowing when you can just get rid of the pronoun altogether. It's actually a pretty simple two-step check you can do in your head. First question, is the information essential? Is it a defining clause? Second question, is the pronoun the object of that clause? Is it receiving the action? If you can say yes to both of those questions, then congrats. You can just drop the pronoun.
Let's see how this works. The girl who I met was nice. Okay, let's do our check. Inside that clause, who I met, who is doing the action? Who's doing the meeting? I am. So I is the subject. That means who, referring to the girl, is the object. She's the one being met. So it's essential info, and who is the object, so poof, we can delete it. The girl I met was nice. It just sounds so much more natural, doesn't it?
But hold on, you have to be careful. Look at this one. The girl who won the race is my cousin. Now, let's ask our question again. In the clause, who won the race, who is doing the winning? The girl is. So, in this case, who is the subject of the clause? And you can never delete the subject. I mean, just try it. The girl won the race is my cousin. It makes zero sense. So in this case, you absolutely have to keep the who. Okay, deep breath. We've talked about essential versus extra info. We've looked at the right pronouns, and we've even learned when we can delete them. So now, with all this new knowledge, let's go all the way back to the beginning and finally solve that puzzle.
And the big reveal is they are all correct. That's right. The book which I read is perfect, which is for things. The book that I read also works because that can replace which for essential information. And the book I read is also totally correct because we followed our deletion rule. The pronoun was the object. All three are perfectly valid ways to say the same thing.
So there you have it. The whole secret really just boils down to one question. Is the information essential or just extra? Once you know that, everything else falls into place. So here's my question for you. Think about something you've said or written this week. Is there a sentence you can make just a little bit more fluent now? Go give it a try. Thanks so much for tuning in.